Hello my guys, welcome to another episode of the Microwave Kicks. The Club World Cup is upon us. The Club World Cup is a very big deal, and here's why the Club World Cup is a big deal, because it has a very huge incentive and it's a new tournament. Teams are coming from different parts of the world, from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from North America. So it's a very, very big tournament and it's a huge deal. 32 teams around the world will actually come together to compete for this first revamped edition of the Club World Cup. It will be happening every 4 years, and for teams who are coming from each continent of the world wants to actually put their name in the very first trophy of the Club World Cup, and he has a very huge incentive whereby if you win the match you get paid a very huge amount of money, and if you win the tournament you could get as much as 90, 100 to 125 million pounds or million euros per se. Depends on your continent you're actually coming from. So it's a very, very big deal, and teams are very, very serious. The Club World Cup, prior to the Club World Cup, the transfer window was actually open for 10 days for teams to actually buy players to play this tournament. That's to show you how serious and how big this tournament is. It's like a test event towards the World Cup, but still it's a new tournament for clubs around the world, because we don't really have too much competition when it comes to the Club World Cup, the previous format where less than 10 matches or 5 matches are played the whole tournament. This is a real tournament. This is a tournament where you have the best of the best on different continents come around to compete and play more than 50-60 matches. So it's a very, very huge tournament, and everything is serious, because if you win this tournament you're going to get so much money for you to go into the transfer window, buy players. You won't have PSR problems because you have a whole lot of funds coming into your team, and you'll be able to execute your transfer targets and all of that. So teams are very, very serious going into this Club World Cup. It's a very exciting one. It started so well, and even if we didn't get goals in the very first match that was played, Inter Miami versus Ahly of Egypt, it was a very, very tough game. The biggest players in that pitch, yesterday was Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Busquets. So they were really, really marked out, and kudos to Ahly, because these guys actually played well. Yeah, they were favourites to win, because if you want to rank the USA League and the Egyptian League, even head to head, the Egyptian side was very, very good. A very good team. The Egyptian side are a very good team. They've won series of Champions League in Africa, and it's a very good team. I think yesterday the goalkeeper of Inter Miami did so well. The two goalkeepers actually, Uzari from a 36 or 38-year-old goalkeeper of Inter Miami, and Esanawi from Ahly, they did so well. Yesterday I think they were the star of the show. The Inter Milan goalkeeper actually saved the penalty, and that was a very good game. That was a very good outing. Nice outing for the first game of this Club World Cup. Other games that was played was Bayern Munich that destroyed and dismantled and demolished Auckland Auckland of Australia. It was a whitewash, 10-0. I was not expecting that. I was actually expecting like a 4 or 5 goals kind of, maybe 4-1 or 3-1 or 3-2, that kind of game, but it was a whitewash. They finished up Auckland, and that was really, really a whitewash, honestly. And another game that was played was PSG 4 and Atletico Madrid 0. I didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be a very, very tough game, a very, very tight one, but trust me, PSG brought the form from the Champions League, into this tournament. They know how serious, they know how big this tournament is, and bringing that form, they didn't really have much rest, because after the Champions League, most of their players, went to play international football. Then afterwards, most of their players also came back again to this tournament. So there was really no time to rest. Just 3 days after winning the Champions League, you're already back to international football. And just 4 to 5 days or 4 days after international football, you are back to this tournament. So there's actually no rest at all for the PSG side. That's why they're going to rotate. But it's a very, very good one to see them pick up all 3 points against Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid didn't actually bring anything to the party, and they didn't really challenge so well. But 4-0, that was a very, very huge scoreline against a giant team, a giant European team like Atletico Madrid. Another match that was played was Palmeiras against FC Porto. Yes, the how big the club is in terms of competition wise between these two teams, the gap isn't really too much with what I saw today. The teams actually played well. Both teams played very, very well. The defense were very good on both sides. The midfield battle was very, very good. Estavo Williams was played out of position, but still he played 65 minutes, but still he was able, to pick up the best player of that particular match. So it's a very good match. And the next match will be Chelsea against LAFC. That's Los Angeles FC. I think that's where Giroud, the former Chelsea player, actually plays for. So it's going to be a very, very good match. Chelsea hasn't really had much rest. I think just 10 days rest, and most of the players were on international duty as well. So coming back to this tournament, after winning the Conference League, Chelsea are actually coming into this tournament after winning the last couple of games towards the Premier League and winning the Conference League. Enzo Maresca has made this clear and made this known that this is not a pre-season. This is a very big tournament, and it will be nice for Chelsea to put their name on this trophy, as the very first team that has actually won this trophy. So it's going to be a very, very big, tournament for Chelsea, and most of the players that are actually going to play for Chelsea in this game and in this tournament are players who played for Chelsea last season. Just very few notable additions, like Esugo, Santos, and just very, very few players that was actually added. Where Chelsea are going into this tournament with 3 wingers, and this tournament is going to be very huge for Chelsea. I want Chelsea to actually do well and go ahead to possibly win it. It's going to be tough because there are going to be Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, PSG, very, very big teams out here to challenge for this tournament. Let's watch out for our new players like Delap, and Sugo and Santos, and very few notable Mamadou Sarr also in defense. Let's watch out for those players because this tournament is going to be a very huge one for them, to be an eye-opener for them and an experience gain for them as well. So let's see what Enzo Maresca said in his press conference going into this game. Yes, according to Enzo Maresca, he said we have only had 10 days. Like I said earlier, we have only had 10 days. Some of the players also had international duty, so there have really, really been no rest, with this squad. He said the feeling when we returned was like a bit of pre-season. We had some new players, like I said. The main message though was, guys, this is not pre-season, this is a big tournament. So like I said, every team are actually taking this particular tournament very, very serious, especially because of the huge incentives with it. And this tournament comes on every 4 years. So if you win this tournament, you're going to rule the world as the best team in the world for the next 4 years, and you have the badge on your jersey that will be there for the next 4 years. So it's just like a World Cup kind of tournament, where you have to be the best and you rule the world for the next 4 years. Now, according to Enzo Maresca also, he said we need to see the impact of the Club World Cup on our rivals who are on holiday. We are here, it's a new competition, we will see how it would affect our season. Chelsea really has no rest going into the new season. Why? Because of this tournament and all that. After this tournament, Chelsea is going to rest for like few days, then back to pre-season again. So it's going to be really, really tough, and I hope this would not really affect our season. So that's why we need to have like a very big squad where you have quality in each position, so that when you're going into the new season, players will not actually wear out, players will not actually be too tired going into the new season. It might have an effect. Yes, most of our rivals like Liverpool and the others, Arsenal, are on holiday right now, but Chelsea are playing this competition. But Chelsea stand to gain more in terms of revenue going into the new season. Now, according to Enzo Maresca as well, he said the players here with us, the players here were with us last season, like I said earlier also, except for Jadon Sancho and Wesley Fofana, who are due to, Wesley Fofana is injured and Sancho is back to Manchester United. It was not complicated to pick the squad. So like I said, Jadon Sancho is not here, Fofana is injured, every other player is present and available. And let's see how Maresca will actually use this tournament to pick the best players that is going to execute his plan or his first team going into next season. Also, Enzo Maresca said the situation about the keepers is quite simple. Robert Sanchez is the number 1 according to him, and that's for this tournament. And Philip Jorgensen is number 2. That's virtually what happened last season. You're bringing it into this season, into this tournament as well. We will analyze and judge Mike Penders, is a young goalkeeper, 19, who will be the 3rd goalkeeper in this tournament, while Magnon is with another club. So we all knew the speculation that concerned Magnon going into this tournament. He was supposed to be the Chelsea number 1 goalkeeper coming into this tournament if he had signed for Chelsea, or if AC Milan had accepted Chelsea bid coming into this tournament. But he doesn't want to say anything concerning Mike Mignon. But this is going to be a very, very good tournament for him to like really assess the goalkeeping situation going into the new season. Now, from Enzo Maresca as well, he said Liam Delap knows how important the number 9 is for this club. I see Liam very relaxed and easy. Since he's arrived, he's working very well. I know what he can give us, and he knows what he needs to do to be a better player. As a number 9, hopefully he can score goals for us. This tournament to me will be a Delap tournament, because the striking position in Chelsea is very, very scrutinized. The striking position for Chelsea is very, very looked into. Going into despite what happened last season, now going into the new season. So every move on Delap will be actually looked into this season. That will actually determine if Chelsea needs to go into the market again to buy another striker going into the new season. So Delap has this tournament in his arms. He has to take it with both hands and do absolutely well in this tournament. I know he's going to do well. I know he's going to play so well. I know he's going to score goals, because he is capable of scoring goals and he has the ability to actually score goals. Now, from Enzo Maresca again, he says success is to try to win tomorrow against Los Angeles. I don't like to look too much further ahead. 2024-2025, we will achieve an important top 4 finish and win a European trophy. So he said tomorrow it's an important game, and Chelsea needs to win. Chelsea needs to take this tournament very, very serious. And for LAFC tomorrow, Chelsea needs to win this tournament and needs to win this game, and also go ahead to win the tournament, because we had a very good season last season, going by how we started the season and how the season went downward, down the scale during the course of the season, and how we finished. We finished very strongly, and I think it's going to be a very good tournament for Chelsea. Lastly, from Enzo Maresca, he said for sure we are going to rotate players. It is impossible in these hits to always play with the same players. It's very important for Chelsea to rotate players. Why? Because now Chelsea has a bigger squad, a bigger midfield, and I think every player needs to be given a chance to play. Yes, this is not pre-season, but Chelsea needs to give players that opportunity. Maresca needs to give players that opportunity. Why? Because going into the new season, going into the pre-season, you don't need to wear out players. Players don't need to be very tired. Players don't need to be fatigued. So I think it's very good to rotate players, because most players didn't even have the chance to even rest. So I think it's going to be a very good tournament for Chelsea, and Enzo Maresca needs to use this tournament to pick out his best players to execute his plan. My prediction for this game is Chelsea 3 and LAFC no. Please tell me what you think about this game. Tell me what you think about everything Enzo Maresca have said, and the Club World Cup as a whole, in the first few games of this Club World Cup tournament. Please let me know what you think. Share your thoughts. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Hit the notification bell and hit the like button. Until I come away again next time, I remain your boy Mike Way. Stay cool. Cheers.